Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to this week's episode of Yak Back. I'm your host, Jake Liberty, and I'll be your host for the next, as long as I'm legally allowed to be here. We do have a great show lined up for you tonight. First, we'll recap Super Bowl 50, in which Peyton Manning earned his second Super Bowl ring to tie his brother Eli. Now, both Manning brothers finally have 4 to tie the Brady brothers with as many Super Bowl titles. What's that? Oh, that's right. Tom doesn't have a brother. We'll also talk about the halftime show meant to promote love for the LGBTQ community, as well as the Black Lives Matter campaign. However, Beyonce's choice of costume and song representing the Black Panther Party of the 1960s pushed aside the love message of the LGBTQ community and back into the closet. And finally, we'll talk about local news in which a local college pizza place named College Pizza lost its right to reinstate its food service license. It seems that after questionable acts behind the counter, some students were getting extra sausage on their pizza, whether they liked it or not. And finally, we'll wrap up with a story of a wife crashing her own funeral. Very strange. Crashes her own funeral after escaping kidnappers her husband hired to kill her. You better believe that upon her return, the look of shock on the husband's face as he realized he did not have a receipt to get a refund. Ladies and gentlemen, this is UMass Yak Back. Hello again, Yackers, and welcome back to Yak Back. To start off the show, we have Bernsey, Robbie, and Allie, all here to talk about Super Bowl 50, the advertisements, and the halftime show. Well, Bernsey, let's first recap what happened during this game. It was a pretty quiet game, low scoring, huge defensive turnout, though. What did you think? A lot of people said it was boring. Personally, I thought it was exciting. I love seeing, defense just stop after stop. Although it was the Broncos' defense, nothing like a good defensive game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, defense is completely the story if you do a recap of that game. Peyton Manning, he's still solid, but he's not anywhere near the player he used to be or what you think of when you hear that name. No. So Denver's defense is one of the best defenses I think I've ever seen. I think most people would agree they were the best defense in the league this year, and they had like 3 touchdowns. I think it was 2 off defense, so that's pretty much the sum of the game. I mean,
if you couldn't tell by my slight bias with the earned, I don't think Manning had anything to do with that game. I think it was all Von Miller at linebacker. I mean, he had 2 sacks, I believe, 2 turnovers, 2 fumbles. He was all over the place. Their defense was shut down, and they stopped the hottest team in the league, the big pussycat Carolinas. So, you got to wonder what happened with Carolina. Where did they come from? Why did they just flop in this game? It's not the first time a Manning has stopped a near undefeated team.
True.
Back in 2011, it was no good.
Yeah. I think Cam Newton, you saw throughout the game his face. He started out so confident, and throughout the game he just started like he was practically crying at the end.
Not the Cam Newton we came to love.
Exactly. Well, I never really loved him, so
I said that we.
Right. Yeah.
But personally, I never liked his attitude or anything.
Right.
But I mean, I like to see a good game, and I thought that was a good game. It was boring. It would have been much better with the Patriots in it, but we'll see them next year. Now, beside from the game itself, there's been a lot of talk more about the halftime show featuring Coldplay with Beyonce and Bruno Mars, correct? Mm-hmm. Bruno Mars. Robbie and Allie, I know you guys had some interesting thoughts on the halftime show and all the controversy surrounding it. Let's hear what you had to think.
Well, overall, I thought the show was pretty good, pretty entertaining nonetheless. Some pretty good artists that I wasn't sure how we're going to mesh well together because they're all very diverse, but they kind of, I guess that was the whole theme of the whole show, that to bring the diversity to unite.
Definitely.
Unity. And it really was 3 different diverse artists who come from all different types of backgrounds. You have Bruno Mars, like a kind of jazzy old school, Beyonce, like the queen of pop, and then you have Coldplay, who's just like this British, very lyrical type of artist. They all came together and made this beautiful medley, in my opinion. But there was some hidden messages behind there, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree about the different artists. I feel like they were definitely trying to reach a broad audience. Like, not to be stereotypical, but like who you think is watching the Super Bowl, but then they had these like really diverse acts. I'm hoping that maybe like got a more diverse audience watching. But but there was some controversy, especially surrounding Beyonce's performance.
Yeah, her backup dancers were all dressed as the Black Panther Party from the 1960s, and there was a lot of controversy. I've heard people say, why would you have an event that brings all people in America together, of all age, all genders, all sex, all race, that bring all these people together and then perpetuate diversity? Why would you perpetuate such a strong message for Black Lives Matter? That's what some people are saying, that it took away from the unity of the entire event, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I see where they're coming from.
Absolutely. I mean, I thought the whole event was not one of the best Super Bowl halftime performances I've seen, but I think, nothing will ever beat the Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson combination.
True.
But that's big footsteps to fill.
And there was the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, they were.
Oh God.
But personally, I thought I didn't think anything of it until afterwards, when the whole crowd opened up and it said "Believe in Love." I thought that was great. I was like, okay, with everything going around in America and all this chaos, you're gonna want to make it a little bit light, make it a little bit of love. It didn't dawn on me how, and this isn't my thought, how racist or offensive some could see her costume. Personally, I thought she was going to take it off. I was like, no way is she that concealed in her Super Bowl performance. No way, that's not what America wants to see. That's what we should have seen, was the whole thing would have been avoided if she was just a little bit more. It's Beyonce.
Right.
It's Queen Bee.
The ending.
Speeding into the male gaze, but I'm not going to get into that right now. This is not the platform.
The ending itself was
Serious
beautiful. The way it ended was a very uplifting and left everyone, like, no one had a heavy heart at the end. It was very beautiful and uplifting. But I guess the messages really lied in Beyonce's, when she made the X formation. I guess that was in support of Malcolm X, and they were all wearing the classic beret and the afro, like the Black Panthers, the Black Panthers wore, and their fists in the air. But the fists in the air is like a common sign of power and rebellion.
Yeah, well, it's specific to the Black Panther Party, when they would, Black Power, when
it is
the Olympic medalist, when he put his fist up.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's a sticky situation, because I didn't.
Jesse Jackson. Yes, Jesse Jackson.
Yep.
I didn't feel like it was being thrown in our face like Black Lives Matter, all this stuff. I thought it was a good, subtle message that showed, I'm here performing for everyone to enjoy, but I'm also standing up for something. And I didn't think it was too this is the only reason I'm here, to create a message. I thought it was, although there was some people said that she was like talking bad about the police, and then they had a picture on Twitter about how she was escorted like 8 police cars to the stadium. But I didn't think she was sending a bad message to the police at all.
I didn't get that vibe.
In her video,
if you look up the lyrics, it's her new song Formation, which I think that it was bad for her to come out with a song that no one's heard. I mean, it's Beyonce. You want to hear her classics. You want to see her do something. This definitely, to convey a meaning, I see why she did it. But I looked up the lyrics. I don't understand most of them. She just says because she slays. But I never saw anything about hating cops in there. It was definitely about Black pride. I mean, She says nostrils like the Jacksons.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. No. It's not like we don't need that in this day and age. And in the video, I think where the police brutality comes in is that in the video, there's a little kid, and he's dancing in front of the cops, and then he puts his hands up like as part of a dance move, and all the cops drop their weapons and put their hands up as well. So it's like they're unifying. So it's almost making the cops seem good. But it does say "Stop shooting us" on the wall and graffiti at one point in the video, which is why they took the video and linked it to the performance, and just it created this huge controversy, which I don't think was the message, and it stinks that such a thing, positive thing in a way, can create such a divide.
Well, my thing too is Coldplay's message was for the gay community. It was to get that out there in equality, and they've taken some serious strides in the past few years to get their rights and whatever. And now, in that performance, he was trying to convey that again and unite it with the Black Lives Matter campaign, as I mentioned before. But now it's just that whole message is pushed aside, and people are just focusing on Beyonce.
Right,
and in her parade. I think you need to focus on the performance in general.
I think
that it was trying.
See, when I saw that "Believe in Love" at the end, I didn't think it was geared towards one specific cause. I thought it just meant believe in love, no matter what.
I thought that's what I'm saying.
Throughout the entire whatever platform, just believe in love. And one thing I have to say bad about Coldplay, it was the 50th anniversary of the American Super Bowl. They're from Britain. They're British. Why wasn't it Bruce Springsteen? Why wasn't it
That's
an
always the
American?
question is why isn't it Bruce Springsteen?
Right. Well,
Number
especially
one.
your
Born to Run.
50th reunion of the best American pastime.
Is that Born to Run?
Born in the USA?
Born in the USA. Who sings Born to Run?
I don't know that song.
It's definitely.
But you know what I mean?
Yes.
Anyway, that's side topic. That's off topic. I mean, there was obviously a lot of controversy. I'm interested to see how it plays out with everyone. Birds, do you have any final thoughts on the?
Yeah,
show at all?
I know I didn't put much into that, but I was thinking about it, and I think that people are, like you said, taking the negatives and not the positives. The positive was, like you say, love, and whatever Beyonce's mindset is, she's not like a Malcolm X violent person. So you got to take the positives from that performance.
Absolutely. I think that's how you got to look at it in general. Look at the positives or the negatives. However, today, especially in America, people are looking at the negatives over the positives. So hopefully this will blow over and people will start to, believe in love with everyone. Why not? Especially on this show, huh? Believe in love here at Yak Back. Stick around, though. We will be back next to talk about the college pizza fiasco. You don't want to miss that. I'm telling you, you don't. Stick around. Welcome back to UMass Yak Back. Here in this segment, we'll be talking about some local news at College Pizza right on Fearing Street here at UMass. So, a lot of strange things have been happening at that place since I was a freshman and every day since. And recently, it actually lost its license to serve food. Went to a hearing. Turns out that it did officially lose the right to reinstate that food service license. Here to talk about what's going on is Christine, Robbie, and Allie, who have not left the set yet. So, I think I'm going to let you explain, Christine.
Explain the situation?
Explain the situation. What is going on at College Pizza?
Okay, so, Mishu, who has been a worker there since I can remember. I've, gotten to know him through, going there many a times. Not anything related to this, but apparently...
Off the record.
Yeah. Apparently, he did some questionable health practices while working there and was told he couldn't work there if they wanted to keep their food license. But then he continued.
Real quick. Those questionable practices were peeing in the kitchen sink, dropping a ladle on the ground and not watching it, and my personal favorite, making food nearly naked while touching his phallus.
Didn't he take his
Somehow
mouth?
that's worse. Somehow that word is
Anything,
worse.
whatever you want to call it, he was touching it, then touching
then
the food.
Ugh.
Again,
Extra seasonings.
sausage
God.
that you don't want on your pizza. I'm just looking for, not even on my pizza, I got it on my spaghetti and I was just looking for normal spaghetti, no meatballs, and got extra meatballs, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, keep going.
Okay. So anyways, this lovely guy,
Yes. Quite lovely.
so he wasn't allowed to come back, but then he did anyways, and so he got caught by one of the inspectors, and now they have lost their food license.
And this is a major blow to UMass students.
This is a huge blow to UMass.
Robbie, what do you think?
I mean, I don't know how big of a blow it is to me personally. I went to there before, and the pizza was cold, bad. I never went there once. All right, this place is just
Weekend nights.
Weekend night. I mean, it's close to
Weekend night.
campus.
Weekend nights, it's
right
perfect.
there.
It's
But
close, it's warm.
I must say that we also should add that there was also a bed in the back.
The side room behind
There's a
us,
side room with a
It
bed
wasn't
and
a full room.
toys.
featuring sex toys. and
What
else was it?
The
It was-
pizza
Didn't he pull a
There's
condom
pot
off?
or something.
marijuana, yeah.
paraphernalia.
I guess the pizza did not have to taste good because they were making money other ways. Is what
Oh,
I'm
God.
what I'm gathering from this.
I
you
think
know,
more so
Maybe the
in,
pizza
the
tasted
tobacco.
good.
It tasted so good.
Because of
Nope.
the
That's not it.
I don't know,
you
but-
think so?
I mean, I never ate there, luckily, but
Sounds like you made the right
I
decision.
think I made the right life choice.
I don't think
honestly.
so.
So,
Because it's like, it makes for a good story. Hey kids, guess what? My pizza place, I used to always eat out
I
every
ate salad
Friday.
pizza. Yum.
I think a part of college pizza in general that we're overlooking is the fact that it's also a tobacco shop, and it hasn't lost its license to sell tobacco products.
Perfect.
So it's
Well, I don't know
a glass store
if everyone's
currently,
aware of this,
but
but
named College Pizza.
also attached to it, behind it, is a law firm.
Yeah.
So it's like, you
This is
know,
just a
if they
nightmare.
needed a good lawyer, I guess they had their neighbors, Dunn & Phillips. Go ahead.
How do you know about the lawyer back there?
Well,
I used to own College Pizza.
different story.
I mean, to my understanding, it was actually owned by Mishu's brother,
Yes.
who went on vacation, told the head chef to watch over it. The head chef said, "Nope, I'm good. We're gonna have Mishu watch over it for about 5 minutes." There for about 5 minutes, and in that I think that's a question.
There's no way that all that can happen in 5
No,
minutes.
I feel like he
Seems too
definitely was just
coincidental.
working
He
the whole
moved his
time.
bed in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No, that was there for a
He
while.
got naked in 5 minutes.
You know, what if you just need to
He
take a
iced
nap?
himself 3 times in 5
The
minutes.
naked in 5 minutes. Well,
You know,
personally,
just needed a nap.
I mean,
Based on
he
my
did a
own
lot. He did a lot in 5
Record-breaking
minutes,
would
if
be.
that's the case. Dropped the ladle. Who knows what else he did that wasn't caught on camera.
That was not in the 5 minutes either.
no.
No. Free Mishu.
I'm just shocked. I mean, I always knew he was a weird guy. If you've ever actually interacted with him, as I can tell you have, the only one who's still with him, still supporting, he's innocent.
So,
I didn't say he was
Christine,
innocent.
Christine, what did that side room look like?
I've never seen the side room. I don't even know where they would put it. Like, you go in College Pizza, it's so small. But no, just in general, he's always a very nice person. He's let me and like at least 15 people just
All
like
girls?
sit. No.
One guy.
Mixed groupings. I've gone
One
there
guy
like with
with
my boyfriend
really long
many a
hair.
time. And like he's always like, even if you don't buy anything, he's like, yeah, sure, sit down. Like it's cold out. Like he like hooks it up with the prices sometimes.
Also illegal.
That's not illegal.
Great, you were just feeling the fire
Certainly
now.
illegal.
That's not illegal.
Well,
I mean,
like,
it's not.
You know.
I guess.
I
Because
think
he
this
was
is the
putting
best
his
thing to
own
happen to
personal
UMass
touch
since.
into the pizza.
Antonio just probably
gonna go
jumping
there?
in for joy. What's
They're-
gonna
they're
go
already
there?
What's gonna
gonna
be
go-
put there?
What do you want to be?
That is
there?
prime real estate.
Odds are it turns into a sex shop.
Ugh, I
Tobacco
don't
and
know.
sex shop? Might as well. Might as
I
well
mean-
It should
finish
turn
off
into
the
a
job.
hookah bar.
Oh, God.
That's what
A
it should
hookah
turn
bar.
into. Right next to Southwest.
Hookah bar and brothel.
Oh, no.
I think that's a little
No,
questionable.
Point there.
I've heard there's some rules.
No, there's a
like,
lawyer
if
behind
more
it.
than
It's a
five
mess.
Yeah,
girls
there,
live in
there's
a
a
house,
brothel law in
If like
Amherst,
more
you
than
can't
5
do
girls
it.
live in a house, it's like considered
They
a
can't have a
brothel.
party. Yeah, that's a brothel. So
I'm like, what?
What about 6 guys?
Yep. No.
It's a party.
Sexism.
Well, technically, in Amherst,
party.
might
Very
as well,
sexist.
You know.
extremely sexist.
Yeah, it was hard
but
when you had to find housing and like.
Why
four girls
hasn't
can
that
live-
been changed yet?
Well, technically,
law?
only
Maybe
4
Beyonce.
people can live in a house, anyways.
We need her. We need her now
Really?
more than ever.
I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, I'm not at a major. I'm
Yeah,
not,
we sort of strayed from.
I'm not very sad about the closing. I find it funny.
Well, it's not closed. It's still open to sell tobacco products.
Who's gonna go now? Well, maybe now because it's like sort of a freak show.
Yeah,
We'll be
maybe
like,
this is
"What
maybe
this?
this is all for publicity.
It
It's all
could
an
be.
act.
They're gonna open like next week under.
New
New
management.
management.
Mishu's twin. Ishu. I don't know.
And you know,
Mishu,
all will
Wumbo.
be right.
Wumbo.
I don't know. You gotta wonder what was going through his mind when he's doing that.
Well, what you also have to wonder is how long has this been going on?
How
long,
has no one noticed?
How long has he been cooking naked?
Yeah, how has he been
sleeping
making
sleeping
food?
alone back in the spare
You
room?
can
with-
see back there pretty clearly. I don't understand how college kids waiting for their food aren't going to see this naked man
This
touching
sex
himself.
dungeon.
Yeah, you can pretty
A
much
sex
see the
dungeon.
kitchen
Yeah.
too.
You can see everything.
You can see everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, rip to College Pizza.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what happens with
We
it all.
definitely
And what
have to
happens
do a
to
recap.
Mishu. Yeah, we'll have to do a
Yeah.
recap. But I mean, guys, thanks for all your input. It was great input. Christine especially. Thanks
She
for
seemed like she had a
explaining-
first-hand, evidence.
Yeah. Hey, free Mishu. Stick around though. We'll be back to talk about our final topic about a woman crashing her own funeral. As strange as it sounds, it's true. Stick around. We'll be right back. welcome back to the final segment of UMass Yak Back. Here to talk about a woman crashing her own funeral, we have Kate, Molly, and Catherine. Now, in a shocking turn of events, a husband actually hired these kidnappers, assassins, whatever you want to call them, to kill his wife. Reasons still unclear, but somehow, some way, she managed to get out of this. Kate, want to recap what happened?
Sure. This is really a shocking turn of events that I feel like
Very shocking.
only happened in Australia.
Yeah, it wasn't Australian.
But
It's upside down over there.
yeah, but apparently this woman was kidnapped by assassins that her husband had hired to kill her. But apparently they are, moral and ethical assassins, and they don't kill women. So instead of killing her, they let her go and gave her all the transcripts of their meetings with her husband or the receipts and
Boy, they really just
sent her back
bailed
to
on their mission, huh?
Yeah.
yeah.
Civil workers.
But then when it was all worth it, I think they were doing it for the sickest prank ever. Show up at her own funeral and
I think so too. She planned that perfectly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Perfectly. I know you know a lot about it, Molly.
Yeah, what I thought was really interesting about it was the fact that both the wife, Noella, she was from Africa, and her husband, he was from Africa as well. And how they met was that they met through the same social worker because they're both from Africa. And he escaped Africa in the first place because he was part of the rebel army in the Congo. And he abandoned his family and left for Australia.
He's a good man.
Yeah, and both his previous wife and child died. And he eventually met Noella, the wife that he put a hit out for. And the magic just happened from there, I guess. They had 3 kids, too.
I thought it was 8.
Total. She
Yeah,
she
she
has
had-
5 previous kids from a marriage.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So they had a total of 8 kids together that they were raising. They were together for, I think, 11 years or something like
Yeah.
that. And because of this whole stunt, he's facing prison for 9 years, I believe.
Only
9 years.
years.
Yeah, 9 years. Catherine, what do you think
That's
about the 9
nothing.
years?
That's not enough.
It's
He's
not enough.
trying to kill his wife, and
It's
maybe
not
he
enough.
killed his previous
Yeah.
wife.
He could just get out and try to do it again. You don't want to see that. That's terrible.
Yeah. According to him, it was a crime of passion because he suspected his wife of cheating on him. But according to her, there was no man in her life. There was no intent to cheat on him or anything like that.
That's funny. I can understand arguing that a murder, you grab a knife and stab someone is a crime of
That's
passion.
a crime of passion.
But
That's what I'm thinking.
hiring a group of hitmen to
It's gonna take
kidnap
some
someone
time.
and
Where do you
kill,
even look for that? Craigslist, I guess.
probably.
Honestly, if I were the husband, though, I would be writing a scathing Yelp review.
Oh yeah, this
those
is not the
hitmen.
service I wanted.
They kept his money and they just left, but that's quite a career.
He should get a refund. He doesn't have his
Yeah, we
receipt.
should start
Yeah.
we should organize a hitman association and just not kill people.
I,
Just take their money.
I
Yeah,
applaud the
Then
hitman.
you're not going to
No
get
children,
any
no women. They didn't
clients.
want to. They didn't tell this guy. He obviously said, "I want you to kill my wife." They were probably thinking the whole time, "We're not going to kill this woman. We're just going to betray him." These are good guys. These are vigilantes, so we need to
Yeah.
applaud.
And the circumstances of the situation were ridiculous because she had flown home for her stepmother's funeral. So he went with her, and they were in their hotel room, and he was like, "Honey, go outside and get some air." And that's when he arranged for her to be kidnapped. So she was distraught from her stepmother dying, and he took advantage of that to have her killed.
It's no
Man.
good. It's no good. It's premeditated. It's certainly not a crime of intense passion because this was thought out. This took, I think it was a total of 5 days from when she got kidnapped to her return.
Yeah.
In that 5 days. Now, they were having the funeral at her own house, and she shows up. The last time that happened, what? Jesus was there.
Yeah.
You telling me this woman has the same power as Jesus? No. However, if I was at a funeral and I happened to see the person who I thought was in the casket,
Yeah.
well, if she's there, who's in the casket? Yeah, but apparently he said the body was never found in the tragic
Yeah,
accident.
he had mentioned it being a tragic accident to their close.
Yeah, I've heard of a
Man.
closed casket, but an empty one.
People just
Ridiculous.
believe in it.
Yeah. That's money. That casket is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that was the first
More
thing on
money
his
than he
mind.
didn't get refunded.
Yeah.
I mean, unless she used it after she killed him, but that's what I would have done. My wife tried to kill me. I would be like, what? Here I am.
She's
Australia.
a better
That's good for
person
her.
than that.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I
Australia.
guess so. I mean, he's still alive.
Why
He's still in
apparently,
Yeah,
she can be
why
the
do you
bigger
say that?
person. Just send him to prison for 9 years.
Her final point, though, the final point that she was making was that she will remarry again. So, guys, keep a lookout for Noella, was it?
Yeah, Noella.
Yeah, so you're quite the history. But, I mean,
And all you
hey,
have
if
to do
you're
is like
watching this,
not
I'd
try and
take my
like,
information down.
I have to say, like, guys, like, don't try and put a hit out on your wife or your girlfriend. Won't
Good
end
advice.
well.
It's good advice. It's not the most romantic thing to say, I'd say, especially in the spirit of Valentine's
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah. Lovely note to end on.
But
for
I would
Valentine's Day.
never. I'm just shocked. I don't know how you even go about finding assassins, let alone them just
It's one
letting
of
her go.
It's one of those articles too that you see the headline for and you're like, wow, that sounds bad, and then when you read it, it just gets worse and worse. And
Yeah.
there are very few articles that I feel like we're so desensitized nowadays to violence and stuff with the media, but it's very few and far between where you read an article and you're like, oh my God, this is absolutely
Wife
horrifying.
crashes her own funeral. I
Yeah.
immediately laughed and thought, how is this possible? Did
Yeah.
she just come out of the casket? And
Yeah.
Just there. Hey guys,
Like
I'm
she
not
faked her
actually
death
dead. Yeah.
or something like that, but it's
Yeah.
very
Her
rare.
husband faking her death.
Yeah, it's very rare that that amount of violence can kind of surprise you these days.
What I like about it all is that on her flight back from Africa, where she got kidnapped, correct, in Africa,
Yes.
then back to Australia, she had to call her pastor, tell him what happened, and then they planned this return,
Yeah.
which I think is hysterical.
It should be a movie.
Because
It should
what-
be like an
yeah.
Eddie Murphy
It's a
movie.
Nigerian soap opera, essentially.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I've seen this before. She knows. She had to have walked in there once she realized that she was alive and been like, wow, I'm living my own soap opera.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. It should be Eddie Murphy's next
I can't make
project.
this stuff up.
Yeah, and she had to contact the embassy and stuff because I don't know what her citizenship situation is because she lives in Australia, but he definitely did it intentionally, just like leave her behind in Africa so he can put as many miles between the two of them if something were to go
I
wrong.
can't imagine she would have her like passport or anything for money on her or anything.
Yeah.
No, it was very, very strange situation. You got to wonder what was happening. Why did he do it? But we have 9 more years until she has to worry about it. So
Yeah.
we'll talk to you
Yeah.
then. But that about wraps it up. So thank you guys for joining me, and thank to all the analysts joining me. I would like to thank the viewers as well for sticking with us throughout this long, painful 28 minutes. I know that I can be a bit much. But I do want to thank you again for tuning in to this week's Yak Back. Make sure to return next Thursday, where we'll have a great episode ready for you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed yourself, again, my name is Jake, and this has been the UMass Yak Back. If you didn't, my name is Tommy, and this is UMass Sports Weekly. Thanks again, and have a great week.